Whit and Darren, how's it going today, guys? We're gonna need one kettlebell today for our workout and a jump rope. So it's gonna start with a thruster, and then we'll do a single leg deadlift on that same side. So when we get the bell in position for a thruster, as always, make sure the bell is in good position on your hand. You wanna keep your elbow tight to your ribs, and I always recommend bringing the other hand around and cradling the ball of the kettlebell so we can keep our torso upright and we can focus on our breathing. So when we do these, we wanna inhale down, exhale up and out, and have your timing and your tempo of your repetition kind of match. So after your press, you're getting a good lockout, a good fixation at the top here. The weight of the bell is kind of pulling you back into alignment. As soon as it's coming back to its rack position, you're ready to catch that bell. Inhale, exhale through another rep. So we want to focus on good timing with this and matching that breathing and movement together. From there, we're going to go to the same side after that 30 seconds. We're going to keep that bell on the same side where we're going to do a single leg deadlift with this. So the first thing we want to do is tense up the airborne leg and have it connected to the torso. Okay, so we're going to keep tension in that leg before we even begin that hinge. Hinging is happening through this plant foot, and that hip is sitting back. You can already see the balance required for this. So hip's going to sit back. We want to use this bell to kind of pull us down, guide us into some balance. Airborne leg and torso should be parallel or connected as we get to the ground here, and then we come back up and out of it. So that'll be our first minute. Then we're going to go to the other side here, do a thruster for 30, single leg deadlift on the other side for 30. From there, we'll go to a lunge hold row. I put these in a lot. There's only a couple of rowing exercises in the kettlebell world. So the lunge hold, I feel, gives you most bang for your buck, where you can stretch out your hip flexor here and can work that front leg a little bit more if you want. Great breathing with this one. Lots of torso contractions. We want to get our hip flexor in a nice flexible position. This is supported. You can do it unsupported as well. We're going to exhale, pull the fingertips to the ribs, get that elbow as high as you can. Let that arm drop and get the belt back to the ground in each one. Those last 20 seconds, and we'll do each side on that. From there, we'll go to a Hindu push-up, or I wrote dive bomber up there because that's kind of the more intense reverse motion of that. I think I'm gonna practice some of those today. But whenever we line up, we want our hands inside the shoulders, fingertips are slightly pointed in. You want your feet outside the width of your shoulders. So we line up, we wanna make sure we can get our heels close to the ground again. And we push our palms to the ground, get a nice stretch here. Forehead, nose, chin, chest, all come really close to the ground. We lock those elbows out. With the Hindu, we would just lift our hips and reverse the motion back up, or just lift the hips back up. With a dive bomber, you're gonna lower back down, and you're gonna push and lift those hips back up until the arms are straight. So a lot more intense on the triceps and shoulders with that one. So you can do a Hindu or a dive bomber. That'll be 30 seconds. Following that, we will do a twisting plank. So our forearms are going to be down, but they're going to be folded underneath you like so. And we have this twisting motion going with our hips. So this is a really intense stretch for the lat muscle, and it'll be the lat opposite to the side you're twisting to. So if your hips are dropping to the right, it's going to be an intense stretch on that left lat side. So to set up with these, the difficult part is getting your feet set with them. So arms are folded underneath you, hips are high, so we're on our toes. You've got to establish a base with the side of the foot. So if I'm going to go to my right side, I'm setting up the right side of my foot. Right leg is nice and straight. And then I'm putting my insteps together, these arches of my feet. I'm putting them together. So my top knee is always going to have a bend. Elbows stay on the ground, and I'm going to drop into that stretch. So I'm dropping that hip down. I'm feeling a nice deep stretch to my left side. I'm coming back to my toes. My feet will come apart here. I'll establish a base with the left foot. Put the arches of my feet together. Top knee's always bending. And I'm sagging and dropping that hip and looking for that nice deep stretch through the upper back and the lats here. So take your time and get set up on those. From the twisting plank, we'll go to a bridge press on each side. So when you're pressing from the floor, it's about half a range of motion. So we want to kind of pick up the reps in the tempo on these. Hand position as always, 45-degree angle. We've got a good grip on the bell up here. We've got contact down here on the wrist. Hips are up, and we're going to press. Turn your palm and your pinky towards you. Elbow comes back down. And then we fire this bell out. Exhale, put tension into the body on this one. After the 30 seconds, we'll set the bell down, grab it by the horns, switch sides with it, where we'll get a bridge press on the other side. We're gonna follow that with, I think, one of the best abdominal exercises in the bicycle sit-up. It's best when you breathe and move slow and controlled with this. So the best way I've found to personally breathe on these is to let all the exhales go on the side with tension, and have an inhale. It's a nice, slow, controlled inhale as I'm switching sides. So what I do is I flare my elbows out. I'm not pulling or bringing my elbows in. I'm focused on the rotation through the serratus muscles while I'm twisting, and that's what's going on in the upper quadrant. Knees coming in, and I'm flexing that bottom side. So it's gonna be opposition. So this knee is up, flexing the bottom side of the obliques. This elbow is sweeping, so you get that cross section of the entire torso. With an exhale when I'm ready to switch. The time it takes me to switch is going to match the whole length of my inhale where I get to the other side. Exhale. So the speed of each rep is dictated by the speed of my breathing. All right, from there we're going to go to a leg driver swing. So leg driver is really good at opening up those hamstrings and teaching a good lift in your hike. But as we bring the belt forward, we drop the hips down, and this is a super quad blaster here. So we always get to our swing ready position with this. We're gonna hike the bell high in hips. So if we get our hike here, as the bell swings forward, instead of straightening our torso, we drop the hips. Hips go high into your backswing, hips drop, and blast those quads. So have a look at that. It's here, here. So just a little different momentum with those as opposed to a regular swing. And then number 9, we're going to do some alternating side planks. Excuse me. Where we open up the palm, and we want to stack into good alignment with these. Really, this is just a great exercise for the hand, the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. I'm 46 now, so I really got to pay attention to my joints to make sure I can still function and feel good. So that's really the point of this for me. So feet are about hips width. I'm just going to turn, stack my hips. If I want to make it more intense and get more of my legs involved, I could stack my feet, raise my leg. But for me, and for anybody out there for therapy reasons, you just want to make sure that you stack those shoulders. We can have more upper body with a push-up in between, but just make sure we minimally work those joints in a good alignment. And then lastly, we're going to finish with 1 minute of jump rope. Best cardio out there. There's so many different things that it does for you. So that's going to be our workout rounds. We'll do our mobility warm-up, and then we'll get the rounds going. All right, feet under hips, stand nice and tall. Imagine you're suspended from something, so your spine's nice and elongated. And start with the neck by looking up, looking down, making sure we're getting good breathing in through the nose, out through the lips. And we're going to the full range of motion here. Look side to side. Try and look behind you on each one. Always try to improve your range of motion to get more out of all these and to progress. Jaw blade tilts. Forward glides. And head circle. Switch direction. On the shoulders, roll both at the same time in the same direction. This is really conditioning for your upper back muscles that are responsible for holding posture. Switch. Switch and alternate. Keep alternating and switch directions. Thoracic lifts. And glides. Arm swings. Alternating crosses. Palms on the ceiling, shoulder screws, and make sure we're hitting this stretch for the hands and wrists in between each one. And we go into spinal twisting. Lateral bending. Pelvic swings forward and reverse. Hip hikes. Try not to move your shoulders with these. And into pelvic circles. Take your hips around your heels. If you have a groin or adductor tightness inside the legs, widen out your feet, and that'll get higher into the pelvis and help you switch directions. Hinging in, back bends. And a full squat with hip priming. Cossacks. And hip flexor stretch. Hamstring on your front leg. Switch sides, other hip flexor. Hamstring on your front leg. And stretch your quads out. And new warm-up, try getting one of these knee extensions. It's just something you should be practicing and working on getting better at. It's a fantastic exercise that'll keep you going. All right, exercise number one is going to be a thruster, and then we're going to do a single leg deadlift on the same side. So 1 minute of working time here. Get your belt racked and set for thruster. Ready? And dig it. And bell at your hips, single leg deadlift, begin. last one here. And switch it on over to the other side. Clean it, rack it. Thruster followed by deadlift. Ready. Begin. Down your hip, single leg deadlift. And time. Next exercise is going to be a lunge hold row. 20 seconds each side. Ready in 3, 2, 1, begin. Time, other side. Ready, set, begin. And time. Next up, we're going to do Hindu push-ups, or if you want to make it more intense, we'll call it a dive bomber, where you reverse back up. Ready, set, and begin. Time. Number 5 is twisting plank. Ready, set, and begin. And time. We're going to follow the twisting plank with a bridge press on each side. Ready, set, and begin. Time. Switch sides with it. Other side. Ready, set, and begin. And time. Bridge press, we go to bicycle sit-ups. Make sure you have good breathing patterns on these. Ready, and begin. Good time. We're going to follow the bicycles with leg driver swings. So get set up in your swing ready position. In 3, 2, and begin. Time. And for exercise number 9, down to your push-up position or alternating side plank. Ready, set, and begin. And time. And the last one of the round is 1 minute on the jump rope. Ready, and begin.